Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to share some of my tips on how to take out the Thing when he's stun resistant or debuff immune. We're going to be seeing a lot more of the Thing in war, so I thought I'd bring in some 3 stars and show some of my tips on basically how to make your life a lot easier and save you some resources in the future. So let's get started. The first thing you should be aware of when you're fighting a stun resistant Thing is you can take advantage of the shallow evade. The Thing has a very over exaggerated punch to the ground. You can evade it and then quickly retaliate, as you see right here. So you don't have to parry him, you don't have to block him, you can just wait till he comes at you and then retaliate. So let's see how that actually works. So let's take a look at that shallow evade in a little more detail by slowing down the video. Basically, you're waiting for him to dash at you and do his pound attack. You move just before he does so, and you retaliate with 5 hits. Now you got to remember to keep your eye on his rock shield up in the right hand corner, that gray circle. If he gets over 15 rock shields, he will go unstoppable, so you might not always do a full combo, so keep your eye on that at all times. Another thing that's very useful with this particular method is to use champs that have a longer reach. The shorter reach, it can be done, but the longer reach is a little more easy. Here he comes again, you retaliate, and then you attack. So you can do this throughout the whole fight and not have to worry about parrying, not have to worry about blocking, just basically shallow evading and retaliating his fist punch to the ground. So if you find the shallow evade too difficult to do or perhaps too risky, you can just bait out his heavy attack. Remember, his first charge heavy, he gets a protection buff. That lasts for 5 seconds, and during those 5 seconds, you won't do very much damage. I think he has a 70% immunity to damage. But after the 5 seconds is over, that protection buff goes into a 20-second cooldown, so you can continue to bait out his heavies and his special attacks and hit him like normal, and do some pretty good damage. Now after those 20 seconds are finished, again, if he charges his heavy, he'll get that 5-second protection. So you're kind of sacrificing a round of hits. You're also going to be taking some block damage from actually baiting out the heavies. But it's not a bad way to do it. And of course, keep your eye on the shield counter. Make sure he doesn't go past 15. So that's just another option if you're a little weary on taking him out with a shallow evade. A couple important things regarding his shield charges. As most of us already know, when he reaches 15 shield charges, you have to get him to use a special attack to clear all the charges. If you hit him at 15 charges and he goes to 16, he goes unstoppable and he's very difficult to deal with. So there's a couple of scenarios I want to go through when you're fighting him that might help you out when you're actually trying to bait out his SP1, SP2 in order to clear the 15 charges. So let's start right now. So to clear rock charges, 2 things have to happen. 1, he has to have 15 rock charges or more active, and 2, he has to have the ability to use a special attack to clear them out. So in this scenario right here, I'm going to go in and I'm going to hit him, and it's going to be at 14 charges, and he's going to have a special bar of power. Now I don't want him to use that special bar of power now, because if it's 14, it's not going to clear them out. So basically he's at 14. Now what I can do is I can run back in and hit him on his block. Hitting on his block will not trigger the unstoppable here. So 15, 16. So now he's above the 15 mark. He uses a special one, and it clears out all his charges. So that's the first little thing to keep in mind when you're fighting against Thing and trying to take out his rock charges. So the next problem you might face is what happens when Thing has 15 rock charges active, but he does not have enough power to do a special one attack. Now we're going to show in this example right here, he's at 10 charges at the moment. I'm going to run in, bring him to 15 charges. Now normally at 15 charges, I'd try to get him to bait out his special one attack to clear those charges back to 0, but he doesn't have enough power. So you can't run in and attack him normally because he'll go unstoppable. But what you can do is you can hit his block. When you hit his block, he will not go unstoppable. He gains power from the block hits. He also gains more shield charges, and he also gains fury when you hit his block. So it's not ideal to do this, but when you have no choice, you have to go in and you have to get him past that special one threshold so he can basically clear out all those shield charges that are active right now. This is more dangerous because every time you hit his block, he's getting more fury. So it's not recommended to do this, but sometimes you just have no choice. So we're trying to bait him out. We're trying to taunt him here. I didn't have to taunt him, but when he's really low in power, sometimes they don't like to throw their specials. So here's the special attack finally. He uses it. He clears all his rock charges, and we can continue on. Another great tip against a stun or debuff immune thing, or just a regular thing in general, is to bring in a bleeder. The great thing about bleeders is they can actually remove rock shields. You don't actually bleed the thing, but once every 2 seconds, if you proc a bleed, you remove 3 rock shield charges. So that's a very nice bonus to have, especially with a champ like Gwenpool, because she actually bleeds on her regular attacks. Some champs will bleed on their special attacks, so you don't have as much control. With Gwenpool, it's just basically using your basic attacks, and you can bleed him many times, keeping his rock shield charges in check. Another great thing about Gwenpool is she has the ability accuracy reduction. She has to be duped, and a high combo really helps her out. So basically, as this fight goes on, you're going to start noticing that his shield charges aren't even proccing. They're just staying where they are. That's because she has her combo up, and she's duped, and she's using her ability accuracy reduction. Gwenpool is just such an excellent choice. She's got the bleed, she's got the ability accuracy reduction, and she even has the ability to eat an SP3 and not die. But this is of course if she's duped. Now if she's not duped, she's still excellent. The bleeding will help keep the rock charges in check, and she still hits quite hard. Again, she's not the only champ that bleeds or has ability accuracy reduction. There's many champs out there. Killmonger, who has great bleed. Sabretooth, Medusa when used correctly, Blade. So just keep that in mind, and just don't forget that sometimes you're still going to push them above that 15 even with bleeders. It only procs every 2 seconds, the bleed taking down the rock shield, so you have to still be careful on that. But like I said, she's a great choice, and if I had her as a 5-star, I'd be bringing her into war every time I saw a thing. Another great example of ability reduction type champ would be a duped Black Widow, high Sig preferred. This particular Black Widow is a 3-star Sig 99, so she's maxed out. The great thing about Black Widow is her ability reduction starts at the beginning of the fight. As you can see right now, she's up to 15 hits, and the thing still does not have any additional rock charges. So a high Sig Black Widow is very impressive. She could go through this whole fight, and he probably won't even get to 15 charges. As you can see right now, I don't think he's going to get any. So she's a great choice. Of course, you wouldn't bring a 3-star up against a 565 War Boss, or even a 4-star would probably time out. But there was a 5-star Black Widow Crystal there a little while back, I believe. So if you're lucky to get her, she's a great choice. So to summarize this video, when you're up against a stun or debuff immune thing, your best bet is to do the shallow evade. It's an excellent technique if you can master it. If you cannot master it, then you can do the blocking and baiting out the heavy. You're just going to take some extra health damage from the blocks, and you'll have to work around the protection buff. If you're an excellent interceptor, you could go that route, a little risky at times. Having a bleeder is an excellent choice because it will help reduce some of the rock shield charges from forming. An ability accuracy reduction type champ will either slow down the rock charges or completely negate them, which is very nice. And then you gotta look at the best ways to make sure that he clears off all his charges by focusing on when to block and when for him to use his special attacks. So there you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. It's just a quick one. Please subscribe, like, share, comment, and share any things that you guys do against a particular thing. So we'll talk to you soon, and take care, everybody.
Target identified. Analysis complete. Please subscribe.